Nice, screwy Louie look. Takes a minute for people to... There we go. I don't know who that is. Hey, give us just a second here. Hey, Holly. I miss your face, Holly. We need to get together. Hey, Stephanie. So Ashley and I are here. She's right now getting the YouTube. She's working really hard on getting the YouTube channel set up and going. So we're going to go live on YouTube at the same time that we do this live, and we're going to start doing, Ashley and I are going to start bringing on guests once a week. We're still kind of working on the thing, but we're going to bring on guests once a week onto our YouTube channel. Hey, Star. And from around the country, and talk about what's going on in your state versus what's going on in our state, and what we're doing to fight coming into 2020. Today, though, well, she's getting the YouTube channel set up. We were just going to talk for a couple minutes. My interview with Graham is at 12:10 today, but it will air at 5 o'clock tonight on OAN. And most people don't get OAN, which sucks because it is the only conservative news channel out there now. I don't consider Fox to be a conservative news channel. But this week has been really exciting. So last week we went to the Arizona Board of Education with Purple for Parents. Ashley and I went to that, and we fought the radical leftist agenda. Hey, Brian, we fought the radical leftist agenda. Senator Quesada, however you say it, tried to introduce and used Kathy Hoffman, the giraffe for a superintendent of schools, to introduce the comprehensive sex ed curriculum. And yes, and Rich, sorry, I'm missing somebody. Rich was there.
I was like,
I know,
quiet,
I'm tired.
Quiet.
Hey, Matthew. So they're trying to introduce this comprehensive sex ed program into our public school system, and what they didn't expect was Forrest with Purple for Parents to come in with an army of parents who will not put up with that, parents and community members. It is a program that is in place in California, and it is sexualizing our children. It's just disgusting.
Promoting transgenderism.
I would need Angie to give me the link, and I'll put the link up for where you can learn more about it. It's a scary, scary agenda. We got it shut down immediately, but they'll be back. And then we went, and the radical leftists are again attacking our Phoenix police officers. And so we went to that. And that was a 9-hour city council meeting that was horrific. We have a radical Phoenix City Council that one of our city council members ran Puente, was an executive director of Puente for 12 years. Another one of our city council members runs Poder in Action, which is a radical anti-Caucasian
supremacist group.
Anti-Caucasian supremacist group. And then we have Laura Pastor, who is a radical in her own right. And then we have Mayor Gallego, wife or ex-wife of open border advocate, socialist advocate, Congressman Gallego. And so it was a rough week. I lost my temper at both meetings. I'm not going to lie. People don't bring me to things to calmly discuss facts. Usually by the time I get to speak, and I think Mayor Gallego actually put me at the bottom of the speaking list of 9 hours of
Very
speakers
last.
Because I think what she wanted to do was hope that I would leave. And I didn't. And so by the time I got up there, I want to talk about something really quick before we go into the SPLC lawsuit. And this came up in the city council meeting with the police, with our Phoenix police, who, by the way...
I can't broad stream from the software on this, so I'm just going to record it.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. So I think that I think this is something that needs to be brought up. And I brought it up in this city council meeting because I heard so much blatant racism. And let me tell you who the racists are.
Very uncomfortable.
Who are the racists, Ashley?
The leftists.
The leftists. Who are the sexists?
Well, they're the leftists, but they accuse us and everybody that's not like them.
Who are the fascists?
The police
The
and
left.
us. Yeah.
You know, like I literally said I think the Phoenix police should quit their jobs because this city council does not respect our police department. This city council, Councilman Pastor, was talking to the chief of police and going, Jerry, and it's like, this is the chief of police, and this is the way you respect them, but yet you expect the community to respect the police. Our own city council doesn't respect our police, and quite frankly, this is the 5th largest city in the United States of America. Phoenix is not a little hometown.
No.
It's a very large city.
With a lot of people from around the world.
Yeah, and dangerous for our cops. It's a really dangerous place to be a police officer, and they get no respect. And I'm like, you know, I shut down the Phoenix police because why should they risk their lives when they have no respect and they're called racists and they're killing our communities? And you know, I mean, it's nuts. So
well, and really quick too, they asked the police to be more respectful and more professional, and they cut Lisa's mic.
They cut the mic of a most conservative.
What's that lady's name? That woman?
Which
that
one?
was like,
oh yeah, Laura Pastor gets up off the stage. She doesn't like what I had to say, so she gets up off the stage and goes like this, and is like going away because she doesn't want to. She's there to hear public comments, which was the whole point of this city council meeting, was for public comment. But they didn't want to hear my public comment. And was I yelling? Oh, absolutely. I was yelling. I was furious.
Because we'll put the links in too.
Yeah, well, because I've been listening to this for 9 hours about how racist, and the only people that are oppressed, and I said this in the city council meeting, the only oppressed black people are the black liberals. The only
you don't
oppressed,
see it with black conservatives.
No, the only oppressed Hispanic people are Hispanic liberals. The only oppressed women are women liberals.
Yeah.
Conservatives are not oppressed. It doesn't matter if you are gay, straight, man, woman, Hispanic,
young,
Asian, black, green, purple, yellow, or orange. If you're a conservative, you don't run around and yell, I'm oppressed, I'm oppressed, I'm oppressed.
By the police and the government. And
everybody, by you, by me. You know, we take it, they have no accountability. Like, and I told them that, I'm like, where is your accountability? Because most of the police shootings or the police activity in this city, it's all been found that most of the time there was a gun involved by the oppressed citizen criminal. Most of the time, and they don't want to talk about that, and the city council doesn't want to talk about it. So Phoenix, everybody runs around, they think Arizona's safe. Do you feel safe in Arizona? Do you feel like we've got our election locked down and our representatives are representing us? No, and like a hard no. Our Republicans have completely turned on us. Our conservative party, we can't trust them. We have to like monitor what's going on all the time. They're not representing us, you know. And then at the police city council meeting, I felt horrendously outnumbered. Yeah. And they wanted to start a fight. Yes. They were the ones that were yelling over everyone. They were telling us to shut up. They were calling us racists. They were saying just to get out and stuff like that. And it's like, whoa, we've sat here and listened to you guys. Yeah, and make accusations. Like I had said it, we'll have it in the clips below for YouTube. But I was like, are all the black cops? Because I just saw like 10. And all You're
the
not allowed
Mexican
to say that.
cops,
Saying that makes you racist. We learn this. We learn this every day.
Apparently, they're white supremacists too.
Yes.
And
and so it was
before.
disheartening because, you know, our Phoenix police now, if you ask me about police in other cities, don't. Because I've had some really bad experiences. Am I saying that every police officer in Phoenix is a stand-up person and they're great? No. You know what?
And that's the climate.
But I am tired of the blatant attacks. I'm tired of the blatant attacks. And then I'm tired of seeing our city council members not support our police because that is their job. Their job is to bring it together, and they don't. What they do is they are radical activists. They are not they are technically city council members, but they're radical activists, and that's what they are first and foremost. And so we've had a couple of really actually good, because that also got shut down. So we've had a couple of really good meetings, I think, where we went this week and we represented, and Rich was there with us both times. Where I think that we've represented the conservative voice Ashley maybe did it in a calmer way. Rich, of course, always does it in a calm way, and I come out, screaming and yelling like a banshee, like I always do. And so, we all play our parts, and that's just, I just don't have a filter. So, but we wanted to talk too about this, the SPLC lawsuit, because I have been really quiet about what's going on.
Really quick, one more thing to add to that, right?
Yeah.
The people that were saying that they felt unsafe in their neighborhoods were saying they felt because they're three things. The police target Black and brown communities, they troll Black and brown communities, and like 30 people said that they only kill our people, and they laid it out, black skinned people, brown skinned people, and like they were complaining about white people. Like, it was over and over and over. Yeah. And since we live streamed it, like, you can check it out for yourself. There's no exaggeration here.
No, it's bad.
And it's like they a bunch of people blatantly said they didn't want the police in their neighborhoods because the police make them feel safe or unsafe.
Unsafe.
Yeah, okay, so I'm like, Rich, you guys make us feel unsafe. Yeah. That's why I want the police.
Well, Rich just mentioned the Tempe Starbucks, which is a perfect thing. So right after this city council meeting in Tempe, police officers went into a Starbucks. That they apparently, because I called, apparently according to the manager, the police go there a lot. But a customer went up and complained and said that having police inside the Starbucks made them uncomfortable, and they actually asked the police to leave. So shout out to a local company called Hertz Donuts in Tempe.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hertz Donuts in Tempe, because of the way that the police were treated by Starbucks, and they had to leave, or they chose to leave and not make a scene because they didn't want to make a scene. Hertz Donuts in Tempe, Arizona, good for you. They offered free coffee to all law enforcement all
Let's support
weekend
them.
long. So if you need a coffee and you're in Tempe, Arizona, don't go to Starbucks. Well, I won't go to Starbucks anyway. I haven't for decades.
It's poison.
But if you need a coffee or you need a donut, Hertz Donuts in Tempe, we appreciate you, because
and hashtag them too, guys.
Yeah, hashtag Hertz Donuts
them and let them know that we were talking about them too.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So
good people.
So the SPLC lawsuit, I want to talk about a couple things, because I have been really quiet about it, and I'm doing Graham Ledger here in a little bit. We're pre-recording here in a little bit. It'll be live at 5 o'clock Pacific time, which is the same as Arizona time right now. Since Arizona, we're smart, we don't change our clocks. But we will also be live feeding it on our page at 5 o'clock. So if you don't have OAN, which a lot of people don't, first of all, call your cable provider or your satellite provider and ask them why they're not carrying OAN, because it is the only conservative news.
Very informative too.
And then I think my take on this lawsuit. Okay, so the basis for this lawsuit, if you don't know, you can Google Patriot Movement AZ is sued by SPLC, and you can find the actual lawsuit. It's 34 pages long. The basis of this lawsuit states that we targeted Hispanic churches, because what we were doing is we found out that the churches in Phoenix, Arizona were bringing in, taking in illegal aliens, busloads, okay? And at the time, nobody understood what was going on. Nobody knew that this was happening. This is December 28th, I think, was the first time that we went to a church. And nobody knew that this is how the illegal aliens were being moved from point A to point B, coming across our border and then getting into the interior of our nation. And so it was important that people know. I mean, media wasn't picking up. Nobody knew. The government was being silent about it. And so we felt like it was an obligation, right? I mean, this is what we do. We go out, we expose the agenda, and this is part of the agenda. So we did that. We didn't target any churches. We went to the churches that were taking in the illegal aliens, that we followed ICE buses and we did different things. But I think that the bigger picture that my message for this lawsuit is this. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with Patriot Movement AZ. It has nothing to do with the churches.
Anybody involved.
And it has nothing to do with the illegal invasion of our border. This lawsuit, because they filed it, SPLC filed this lawsuit on behalf of the churches. Because first of all, they chose us. We're an easy target. They've already, SPLC, the original hate group, is already listed.
Isn't there more women named in the lawsuit than men too?
Yes.
So they're fine with coming after women.
They don't care. I mean, they hate me. But the lawsuit has nothing to do with anything. What the lawsuit is, because they could have filed it in a local court. They went with a federal court. And the reason that they did that, in my mind, and this is just my opinion, the reason that they did that is they want to use us. They see us as an easy target because I'm already listed as running a hate group. So they see us as an easy target, and what they want to do is set a legal precedence. Okay, they want to use the court systems, and they want to use their $650 $1 million worth of wealth and their Goliath status in the community, their community, not ours, but they want to use their Goliath status and their great wealth to come after citizens. 11 of us in this particular lawsuit. There are 11 of us. They want to come after us, and they want to use the courts, and they want to set a legal precedence within the system to come after you. That's what this is about. This isn't about anything that I did or anything that I said or anything that any of the 11 defendants did or said. This literally is using the federal court system to set up a case law that they can then use that case law to come after you. And that's where I feel like people need to understand. I don't take this lawsuit personally. I don't. I look at it and I go, whatever, okay, we'll fight it.
You have to understand what it means, though, because it's an inch closer to taking away more of our rights.
Yeah, it's coming after our freedom of speech. I have the right. I mean, the police, Phoenix police, issued a statement to the media stating that most of the time they were there because I called them in advance and said, hey, this is where we heard they're going to be today, and I called the police and I had the police there because the left is very violent. We're not violent. We'll fight back if we have to, but we are not violent. And
we don't have Antifa groups.
No. And so I call the police, because the police work with me. I call the police and say, hey, this is where we hear what's going on. This is where we're going to be, blah, blah, blah. So police issued a statement supporting me, saying that I don't break the law. I might run right up to that fence, but I do not cross that line. And that is because I respect my police and I respect the law. And I know my rights and I know their rights. So I'm not going to violate somebody else's rights either. And so anyway, I don't see this lawsuit as being, I see it as a way to use the system to come after your voice next and to use the court systems to do it because they can't silence us. They've been trying to silence us. I've always looked at my time with, SPLC. They've been on me for 3-ish years now as a badge of honor. And it is a badge of honor. The problem is when they come after and they use their wealth to come after people like me who I don't have the money to hire an attorney. I don't have the means for that. None of us do. They have $650 million. Where are we fighting? Where are we fighting that with?
Also, they say they're going to expose people in discovery of the group because there's still like 3 people that they don't know who it is or whatever. But like upon other discovery about them, they take money and donations and put it in the Cayman Islands.
Right.
And things like that's what crooks do. Yeah. So tell them, what does it mean if they get you? What does it mean if they get this? Like if it happens here in Arizona, then what?
If SPLC wins this lawsuit in any way, shape, or form, it gives them the legal precedence and the case law to be able to go back and now sue. Let's go with, I don't care whether you follow Paloma, I don't care whether you follow Amy and Melinda or Conservative Anthony or Ben Berkwam or anybody else who is out there on the border, because a lot of it's going to start at the border. But, regardless who you are, if they can stop me or they can stop any 11 of us and they can win this at all and make any case law, that gives them, when they go after you or you or you or you, they now have a case that they can go back and say, well, look, in SPLC versus PMAZ versus AZ Patriots versus Lisa Antone versus anybody else, they now can go back and say, see, we won here. So we have a legal precedence, and that's why they filed in federal court, so they can go after anybody in any state, because now they'll have a legal precedence against my First Amendment rights. So, which is then also going to be against your First Amendment rights. And so, a lot of you
guys, you have to understand how important this is.
It's huge. It's huge.
This is not just a one-time thing on PMAZ and AZP at all. Like, this is not about the individuals. It's about conquering this portion of Arizona so that they can move it and come to California and get the people you guys watch on YouTube. Go to Texas, get the people on YouTube, and they are going to start with the border states. They don't want people knowing about this illegal invasion. They don't want people to know, the millions of people.
They also don't want people to know about the comprehensive sex ed in schools.
Right. They're doing it behind everyone's backs.
Or anything else that conservatives are out there reporting on. They want it shut down. And so this will be used to shut down your voice. This will be used to shut down the people that are showing you what's going on.
And I put in the number of people that don't have any part of politics, right? They have no political preference. They don't watch politics. They don't follow anything like that, right? I'm putting those millions of people. If anybody sat down, a leftist and a conservative sat down and was like, okay, this is the education bill. Do you support it? Pretty much anyone with common sense is going to be like, no.
No, because it's gross.
Do you want?
It's so disturbing. It's so disturbing that I can't even talk about it. It's literally sexualizing infants. Literally,
it's manufactured consent.
Literally sexualizing infants.
Getting ready to normalize pedophilia.
So, anyway, I just feel like my hope is, so I'm going to go on Graham Ledger tonight. I spent 2 hours with John B. Wells on Caravan to Midnight last week. It is a paid subscription. It's $5 a month. But we spent 2 hours literally talking about everything that's going on in this country. Originally, it was going to be, we were going to talk about the SPLC lawsuit. And, I can only talk about that for so long because there's so many more important things going on. And this is just a small piece of what's going on. We are just pawns in the game. And so I spent 2 hours with John B. Wells on Caravan to Midnight. And it's an amazing, it was so intense, that 2 hours, that I went, after we were done, I was just exhausted. I went and laid down and took a nap. I was exhausted. It literally mentally wiped me out because he's such a smart man. And so then, but we did touch on the SPLC, but it was a really small little part of it. And then, so tonight, I'm going to be on the Graham Ledger show tonight at 5 p.m., because, at the end of the day, right now, we need legal help. There are 3 members of Patriot Movement AZ and we need legal help, and we're not finding it. I mean, and it's shocking to me because there's a countersuit there. They have defamed our character. They have come after our livelihood. They have come after our children. They have come after everything. They've come after our homes. You know, there is a countersuit there, and it is a winnable countersuit. And here's what we keep running into when people say, call ACLJ or whatever it is. Call this and this and this. These big, huge law firms that normally would take this on, right? Here's what they're telling us. We don't want to go against the churches. So how smart is SPLC to use these churches to attack the citizens? Because these big people that would normally take on pro bono, take on a case like ours, because it's A, winnable, and B, it's countersuable easily.
Yeah.
But SPLC is smart. They use the churches and people, these legal. Scoot over into the screen. I'm not in the screen? What? You'll have to be more.
I think you're just leaning back a little bit. There we go.
So I think SPLC is really smart. They're using the churches. And so these big law firms that should be taking this on are they don't want to take on what they see as taking on the churches. They're not looking at it as taking on SPLC. And so I'm going to do this Graham Ledger because I have to now. I've been quiet. I've been trying to, we've been trying to like raise money quietly and not be outspoken about it and not make this about us. But at this point, don't listen to Angie. Siri, hear that, Angie? Rich said don't listen to you. So I think now is the time. So I just want to give you the upcoming schedule really fast before.
These are not true churches of the Lord.
Yeah, no. Brenda, we actually have one of the churches, and this is one of the main pastors.
That's a good point.
Atheist
lawyers.
That's
a good point.
That actually is. So we have actually one of these churches. We have it on live stream. One of the most outspoken pastors against us. We have him on film turning away one single decrepitly homeless American after we just watched truckloads of donations and busloads of illegals get taken into his church, and he lied to this one single homeless American and said that they didn't have anything to help him. So, this isn't, they say, we're doing our calling, it's God's work. Well, then why did you turn away a homeless American, one man who needed help? And so, anyway.
Yeah, and I would throw in, too, that, what about all the churches that did not participate in this? Like, they should get some credit for that, because a lot more churches said no than said yes.
Yeah, but that's huge. There were approximately 40 churches in the greater Phoenix area that took part in this in some form. And then of course the Democratic National, the DNC was actually using their offices as a base to collect the donations, and then they were taking the donations, the DNC people, staffers were taking the donations to the churches. So it's a total political agenda, and we all know that. But I want to tell you where we'll be this week talking, and the next couple weeks. So tonight, I'll be on Graham Ledger, and that will really be focused just on the SPLC lawsuit because it's such a huge platform, and we have to find attorneys. So that will be focused totally on that. In the next week or so, I will be on the Pete Santilli show. And if you don't know who Pete is, you need to learn who Pete is. Pete was a political prisoner from the Bundy Ranch and the Malheur days. And so, I go back with Pete and Deb a ways. So I'll be on the Pete Santilli show. I don't have a date for that yet. I will be back on Caravan to Midnight, the radio show with John B. Wells. I don't have a date, but it will be in the next couple weeks. He and I are going to be discussing an array of issues, continuing our 2-hour conversation about what's been going on in this country and where we see this country headed. So that'll be in the next couple weeks. And then on July 15th, I will be on with Mark Hoffman on Patriot Nation Radio. And we'll be talking about, because I actually Mark Hoffman, I think, was the first name that picked up when we were going to these churches. He was one of the first ones. So I've been on there with William Geen from Alley Pack. I've been on his show with Steve Ronnebeck and some other angel parents. And SPLC actually wrote a hit piece on me for something that I said on his show on the Patriot Nation Network, Patriot Nation Radio. I had said that the most oppressed people in the United States and probably the world are heterosexual, white, Christian males. So SPLC, if you'd like to write another hit piece on that, heterosexual, Christian, white males, those are the most oppressed people in this country.
Highest suicide rate too.
They are the most hated people in this country. So if SPLC, Nick Martin is our personal, Nick Martin is Patriot Movement AZ's personal SPLC investigative journalist. So Nick Martin, feel free to put it out there that Lisa Antone said again that the most oppressed person in this country and perhaps the world is a white Christian heterosexual man. Okay? It's okay to be a man. I prefer for my men not to be soy boys. I don't want to see a man in culottes.
Shilling and
or
cucking
short
all
shorts.
over the
I don't want to
place.
see a man in short shorts either. I don't
Or
even know what that
rompers.
is. Rompers, oh my gosh. Yeah, Amazon is really into male rompers. I don't ask me, I don't get it.
Make men great again.
Make men great again. Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah, no more cucking and shilling, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's bad. It's bad. So I don't know. I just, Ashley and I are going to start doing this every week. If somebody out there has something going on in your neighborhood, in your state, in your community, and whatever, and you want to come on live with us, we would love that.
We'll dual screen and then talk about it.
Yeah, we would love that. What we want to do is create a platform for people to be able to come on and tell us what's going on in your neighborhood, because at the end of the day, this isn't my fight. It isn't Ashley's fight. It isn't your fight. It's our fight. We're Americans. And we've got to start fighting together, and we've got to start supporting each other and what we're doing.
Really quick.
What's that say? Give the PayPal link. Okay, so the links, I'll put them, we can put them up. The GoFundMe, we'll put them up on the thing. I don't know who is answering right now as Patriot Movement AZ.
I think it's Rich.
But I would put it in the description. Every dollar helps you guys. If we can't get pro bono lawyers, we're going to have to figure something else out. We'll probably end up going pro se with help from friends. But the goal is to be able to countersue, and we can't do that without attorneys. And so we need some help. So every dollar adds up, every share adds up, every prayer adds up, because and the more people that subscribe to our YouTube channel, that definitely helps a lot too. Yeah, we're gonna really try, because I have a feeling that, hi Tammy, I have a feeling that Facebook is gonna deplatform us soon. We've been listed as a hate group. I have a feeling that Facebook's gonna deplatform us. So YouTube hopefully will not as quickly. And we are on Twitter, and I just had Ashley is gonna start helping me with Twitter because I suck at it, because I have anger issues. Let me silence that. I forgot to do that when it started. I am dumb. There we go. So Twitter is AZ_movement. Our YouTube is Patriot Movement AZ on YouTube. Obviously, you know what our Facebook is, or you wouldn't be here. But if I bet Tammy had to go back to work today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's our goal, guys.
The YouTube thing and like the coming on the show and stuff like that, we are gonna do once a week discussions and like things that we're doing here in Arizona, what's going on in Arizona. And I said in a video, if you guys see it on YouTube, I didn't share it on the Facebook page yet, but don't be afraid to speak out and speak up. Mm-hmm. And I encouraged people to, like, that you're not, when you're with like Patriot Movement, Like, it started here in Arizona, but don't be afraid to start Patriot Movement in another state.
Yeah, there's
Like,
about
if
4
it-
states that have picked up the Patriot Movement.
Mm-hmm.
Patriot Movement, Texas. Patriot Movement, New York. There's like 4 states, I think.
And if it motivates you to get out and get a tribe and get a team and go and show up to your city councils and get involved in things like this, you're not like on your own.
No.
PM your state, Patriot Movement your state. We fully encourage you to do that. So don't
Texas
think.
and Florida.
Yeah, there you go. So you know,
NewCaliforniaState.com. I love that.
we're not separate on this. This is a movement together. We do
But
this.
it
We
has
got to
to
do
be.
this together. Yeah.
It has to be, and we have to, you know, at some point, you know, we have to put our egos. I've always said it, and I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face, and it's still not going to sink in. But at some point, the left beats us in the social game, and they beat us in numbers. And you know what? I'm going to hear this, and I know about 10 people are going to respond and say it's because that we work and they don't. Okay, I get it. I get it. People have jobs. That's great.
Families.
But nobody works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, you know, there's always time to get out and to say something. You know what? Here's the thing. If you do not have every single one of your local, city, state, and federal, every single representative in your phone under speed dial. And here's what I do. I have them all listed under rep. So all I have to do is go in my car and I hit Bluetooth and I can just go down the list and I can call every single one of my representatives, city, state, local. You know what? I'm not even a resident of the city of Phoenix and I have theirs in there too. So honestly, if you want to know what the most important thing to be doing is, the most important thing to be doing is keeping in touch with your representatives and letting them know how you feel. Everybody says, we need to, but how many people stop and pick up the phone? Because saying that we need to do it isn't enough. So get them in your phone. If you have that information stored, as soon as they say something or do something or a news article ticks you off, all you have to do is go rep and just start calling. It takes literally, I can get through my entire representative team in under 15 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, like, because you know what? They don't really want to hear too much from you, right?
And we lose if you don't speak up.
And
if we don't speak up.
There is a huge danger in being a street activist these days, okay? There's a big danger in being active on the streets because SPLC comes after you, the radical left comes after you. Remember that they have no morals, no ethics, and no standards. And
they're filled with hate and rage.
Yes, and what they actually say is that Nazis, which if you're watching this video, you are considered a Nazi, just in case you weren't aware. You are a Nazi, I am a Nazi. We can say all day that we're not Nazis, but you can't prove a negative. So, and here's what they say. We do not deserve to work. We do not deserve to eat. We do not deserve to live. So being a street activist is dangerous. It is dangerous to your family. It is dangerous to your job. It is dangerous to your children. It is dangerous to your parents. But you know what is not dangerous? Picking up the phone and calling your representatives. So for those of you who have not had your lives destroyed by the radical left like I have, and I have, and a lot of that is private information that I won't share, but I have had my life destroyed by the radical left.
And threatened.
And threatened. But if you haven't, here's the thing. If you have a job where you know my job, if my job knew that I was out on the streets standing up for my constitutional rights and I would lose my job, I don't expect anybody to have to go through that. But why can't you pick up your phone? If you have a job and you say, well, I can't get out to the streets because I have a job, can you pick up a phone? So what I recommend and what I beg everybody to do is get your freaking representatives' phone numbers. And even the representatives, if they're not even your representatives, it doesn't matter. If you don't like them and they're representing, their vote affects you, right? So their vote affects you. get their phone numbers in your phone. And then it's not enough to do that. You actually have to call. You actually have to pick up the phone and call. That is, if thousands and thousands, and if millions of conservatives were calling their representatives every single day, millions, how much more effective is that than
that wall might
having
come up
a
a little
rally?
faster too.
Yeah, having a rally, or even, any of these things that we do to fight this, all of them are great, but most of us can't do it. Or, can't, or are afraid, or housebound, or are out of the area. Everybody has a phone, and I know you do because you're watching this, so you have a phone. So look it up, Google your representatives. You can go to, I think it's, I'll post the link to how you find your representatives based on your exact address. You can find them all, but you have to call. If you don't call, there's no point. Because voting isn't enough, you guys. 2021 is going to be the year. Obama promised to fundamentally transform the United States of America, and he did. President Trump has promised to bring it back to the American values, and he's trying. We're not there. We are further and further and further apart than we've ever been.
You should say that when we were talking the other day, and it was like the more radical that the left is getting, and they're getting more violent. They're upping their violence and their attacks on people. And if Trump wins 2020.
So my prediction, if Trump wins 2020, the UN is going to arm the left. If they pervert our elections so badly that Trump loses in 2020, which I think is the only way that he would lose.
Giving illegal immigrants driver's licenses,
yes.
Which is that's all you need to
You're
vote.
going to see an uprising from the right, though, if that happens. I mean, no matter what happens in 2020, 2021 is going to be the year that it gets bad. And so, I feel like I really need to drive home that we do. I mean, we need everybody. Everybody has a place in this fight. I don't want to see people's lives destroyed for going and standing up against something that they don't understand the ramifications of street activism. But what I do want to see is people's phones. I want to call my representatives and not be able to get through because so many people are calling. That's what I want. That's what I pray for, because that's where you can your voice makes a bigger difference there almost than at the ballot box, because they can't corrupt your phone call. So if you're not doing it, you need to do it. You need to put them in your phones. Don't look them up every time, because you know what? Nobody's going to take the 15 minutes it takes to try to find all these phone numbers. Put them in your phone when you're doing it, and then call, and then do it, because that's the biggest, hugest thing. And it poses no risk to your livelihood
or your
safety or your life, your children's lives. It poses you don't take any risks. You just pick up the phone. So anyway, guys, that's my soapbox.
How effective that is.
Hey,
too.
Forrest, Purple for Parents, right there. Purple for Parents in the house.
Yes.
Fighting the radical leftist agenda against our children. Right there. That man.
Good group too, guys. Purple for Parents.
Yes, it's fighting the radical agenda in our school system, which is where all of this begins. How did they get an entire generation marching, not peacefully asking, marching in the streets to give away their rights?
Berkeley.
They started where? When they were this big, and we weren't paying attention. And so now we're paying attention. We are awake. We are paying attention. They got one generation, and if we can survive that generation, the next generation coming up, we will save them. And we'll do it through groups like Purple for Parents. We'll do it through groups who are fighting the school system. We'll do it through these things. But we also need to do it by picking up that damn phone and making phone calls. We need to do it by fighting these radical leftist organizations like SPLC. SPLC is a radical leftist organization. They are crazy. They are a hate group.
They want to see the fall of Western civilization. They want to see the fall of America. They are very communist oriented.
They're Christians, or they hate Christians. They're anti-God, anti-life,
anti-straight,
anti-men. They don't like men.
They don't like strong men. They want
anti-American,
weak men.
So anyway, guys, that's my fight. But it's not my fight. This is not a PMAZ fight. It's not an AZ Patriots fight. This is an American fight against the SPLC and the radical left. So
this is just the first step into the playing field.
I beg you all to pay attention to what's going on and remember that, you know, like me or hate me, I don't. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't care. But remember that this fight belongs to all of us, and we all have to fight it together, because if they silence me, I can't stand up for you, and they'll come for you next. So,
and also in comparison to how effective making those phone calls are, look at, like, remember that lion that was shot in Africa, Harambe? Or no, that was the ape, right? The gorilla.
Yeah.
So like millions of people flooded their legislators' offices, millions, over, you know, with the gorilla thing, and like people call from all over the country into the California legislators to talk about their beaches and talk about, well, obviously the homeless helping. Yeah, the straws, like
plastic straws.
The effectiveness of calling is so true. Okay, 2 examples, and you know, it's environmentalist issues and animal rights issues. Is the lion? What was that lion in Africa? The guy.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Right,
though.
The guy that chased the lion for like 40 miles and shot him outside of the pen, and the whole world called into the United States. And then the Harambe thing with the gorilla, people from all over the world called in, and
but our border is being invaded and people aren't calling.
Yeah. Illegal immigrants are getting driver's licenses, and that's all you need to vote. The dentist, right?
Yes.
And the other thing is the pipeline that was going through the Indian reservation, right?
Oh my God!
What was what was that called? The
Standing Rock.
Yes, and all of those activists and all of this stuff, they went and, well, they trashed the place.
No, they trashed the place.
That you know how effective it was, because when you don't have the whole story, and what the media was saying is, it's just they're trying to run a pipeline through Indian reservation, but there was more to it, and how effective all of the people in the country and all around the world were calling in for the legislators and things like that. So don't underestimate your phone call.
No, the phone calls.
You know, feel good about it.
Phone calls are huge,
yeah.
And it's the biggest thing that you can do besides voting to actually be heard. So just remember, you guys, this fight is everybody's fight, and everybody has a place, and everybody can pick up the phone if there's, you know, and before you step beyond that, picking up the phone and writing letters and this and that, and, you know, going to city council or whatever, remember, you guys, that what we are fighting is Satan. This is Satan on earth, and they have none of the same principles and morals and belief systems that we have. They don't have standards that we hold ourselves to. Like I would never, ever want to ruin somebody's life over political differences. However, they do. And so you need to be very careful about what you do, where you do it, and who you do it with, because I've learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way, and I'm paying the price. And I've had it several months to reflect on different things and where I want to go from here, and what I want to do, and what is important to me, and what I want to be involved with, and how I want to be involved. Because
reevaluate. You had to reevaluate.
Yeah, everything. I had to reevaluate everything, because I lost everything for my activism. And so I don't want to see that happen to anybody else, because we are not fighting the humans, people. We are fighting Satan. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're an atheist. I don't care what you are.
Very dark.
We are fighting evil. And this is a war, and it's a spiritual war. And so you need to understand that our enemy does not care. They do not hold themselves to the same standards that we do as proud American citizens. So please remember that before you get overly involved, that you can pick up the phone and you're in no danger, because it's going to come a time where we are all going to be rising up. And I would like to see us all in one piece and able to do that. So anyway, I'm going to get ready for my interview with Graham. We have a lot going on. We're taking a new approach on things. We're not going to be so much out in the streets. We're going to be hitting it from different areas. So if you have something that you want to discuss on YouTube and Facebook with us, Ashley and I will be doing this once a week. Send it to the page and let's get it going, you guys, because this is our fight. This is America's fight.
Absolutely.
So that's all I have. I don't know what you have to finish up.
Yeah, we're going to do weekly videos. We're going to be broadcasting from both YouTube and Facebook, and just social media. I just thought about this. They haven't been able, everyone knows InfoWars, right? Everyone knows Alex Jones. They haven't been able to get him. They deplatformed him and they took him off the, everything, all social media. But all they would need is to get the Arizona groups.
And then they can use that to go after Alex Jones. And go after Alex Jones
and completely shut it down.
Yeah.
And then to what level, what degree?
That's a good point.
What degree would they not go to? Like, would they come in and be like, your studio is done?
Yeah.
You cannot be on the internet anymore.
And here's why. Because we have a case law that says so.
Yeah, and that's what it would be. Mm-hmm. And so it would be Alex Jones, it would be all the people in California, it would be the border states, Texas, and then it would just reach out. Mm-hmm. So if this moves forward, they can go after anyone by any stance, any means. And it wouldn't, all because you guys, a couple of people went and filmed at some churches bringing in millions of illegal immigrants, And one more thing. If we went to Mexico illegally and demanded that they give us welfare and driver's licenses and shelter and food and clothes and all this stuff, not only would we not get the donations and the hospitality, but also we would be arrested.
Well, what's funny is last time we went to Mexico, I don't have a passport. I have a birth certificate.
Oh, yeah.
And my birth certificate is 50 years old. So it's like this little tiny thing. It's like it's like an antique. So I'm like, oh, I have to be so careful. So they took me into secondary, right? Because I don't have a passport. So to get into Mexico, I had to go into secondary, and it was craziness, right? It actually is harder to get into Mexico. So my question was, who the hell is breaking into Mexico from the United States that it's harder to get into Mexico the right way than it is to get into to come home to the United States, okay? We had to go into secondary, not Ashley, because she has a passport, I don't. But I had to go into secondary, and the guy was funny. He's like, gringo this and gringo that, and I'm laughing because I could care less, whatever. I have thick skin. The guy was funny, but it was harder for me to get into Mexico legally from the United States than it was for me to leave Mexico and come home. Mm-hmm. So their laws are enforced if they choose to enforce them. We aren't allowed to enforce our laws because we have Democrats like Cory Booker who go over and bring them here. So anyway, guys, pick up your phones. Tune in tonight for Graham Ledger on OAN. If you don't have OAN, we're going to live stream it on the page. And your prayers, shares, if people can afford $1, honestly, we're hoping to get a pro bono attorney. If we get a pro bono attorney and we don't have any money coming out of pocket on this lawsuit, every dime that we collect will be returned. I have no interest in taking people's money. But we appreciate you all being here. Yeah. And if you have something you want to discuss and you want a platform to do it, please use our platform. We're more than happy to help. And in the meantime, this week, you guys, get your representatives' phone numbers and put them in your phone and put them all under representative. That way you can just go down the R's and hit them all and do it every day, because that's where you're going to make the biggest difference.
Yeah.
So, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Patriots, and never apologize for the color of your skin or your beliefs. Ever. Or your sex. Never. Hold true to who you are, and always remember that God is in charge, and we can win. But it's going to take a lot of work. You got anything?
Beautiful.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you guys.